It all began with a gargoyle. Not a real one, obviously. A small, stone grotesque my brother brought back from a trip to Scotland. His name was Fergus, and he sat solemnly on a corner of my porch, warding off— well, I thought he was warding off bad vibes. Turns out he was attracting them. The first letter arrived on crisp, cream-colored paper that just screamed, "I have a cricket machine and a god complex." From the desk of Brenda Schneider, HOA President. Subject: Unapproved Architectural Gargoyle, Code 14F. Dear Homeowner, a recent compliance walkthrough has identified an unapproved, non-conforming gargoyle fixture affixed to your property. Per Community Aesthetic Standard 14F, all exterior ornamentation, whether flora, fauna, or fictive, must be submitted to and approved by the Architectural Review Board, ARB, prior to installation. This item is neither pre-approved nor does it conform to the serene and uplifting thematic palette of Serenity Springs. You have 48 hours to remove this eyesore. Failure to comply will result in a fine of $100. Brenda Schneider. The name alone probably just lowered your property value. She was the human embodiment of a live, laugh, love sign that judges you for not dusting. Her HOA bylaws were her scripture, and she was its prophet. I tried reason. "Brenda," I said at the next board meeting, "it's a 6-inch piece of stone. It's historical. It's not hurting anyone." She clutched her pearls metaphorically, though I'm sure she owns a real strand. Historical? It's grotesque. Literally. We have a visual standard to uphold. First a gargoyle, next someone will want to paint their house charcoal. It's a gateway ornament. I moved Fergus to my backyard, thinking that was the end of it. Oh, you sweet summer child. Moving Fergus was a sign of weakness. Brenda's compliance department went into overdrive. My grass was excessively shaggy, because I mowed it on a Thursday and the official mow day for my street was Friday.
Fine. $75.
The welcome mat on my porch was deemed overly textural and a trip hazard for hypothetical visitors.
Fine. $50.
The final straw was the unauthorized nocturnal illumination. My sensor-activated porch light had come on as Brenda was power walking past at 5 a.m. She cited me for creating a public nuisance and disruptive light pollution.
Fine. $150.
The fines were piling up. Threatening letters about liens on my house started arriving. My neighbors, who used to wave, now averted their eyes. I was public enemy number 1, all because of a gargoyle and a rebellious welcome mat. I paid the fines, but I was done playing defense. It was time to go full librarian on these bylaws. I became a phantom in the archives. While Brenda was measuring blade lengths of grass, I was buried in the Serenity Springs covenants, conditions, and restrictions. I read every footnote, every amendment, every single soul-crushingly boring word. I documented everything. Every violation notice was scanned and filed. Every interaction was noted. I was building a case. And then I found it. The golden ticket. The trump card. Tucked away in the original community plat was a strange, 2-acre triangular parcel labeled Tract 7 Common Area Amenity. According to the HOA maps, this was a future site for a community garden, or tot lot. It was a wooded, sloped piece of land right at the neighborhood's entrance, currently used by kids as a biking trail. But my grandfather, the original owner of my house, was a paranoid and thorough man. He left me a fireproof box full of documents. And in that box was the original land survey from 1978. According to this survey, and the subsequent property deed, Tract 7 was never officially deeded to the HOA. Due to a surveying error when the neighborhood was built, that land was part of my property lot. Brenda and the HOA had been maintaining and claiming ownership of land that was legally mine. A slow smile spread across my face. I hired a surveyor to confirm it. He did. The land was 100% mine. I had it officially registered with the county. Now I just had to wait for the right moment to play my hand. The moment came sooner than I expected. A bright, glossy flyer appeared in everyone's mailbox. You're invited. The annual Serenity Springs Spring Fling. This year we're going bigger and better. We've secured the perfect, picturesque spot on Tract 7 for our community-wide party, featuring catered barbecue from Fancy Franks, a live band, the Suburban Dads, a bouncy castles for the kids, and a special surprise announcement from your HOA board. We've even chartered buses to bring in guests from the neighboring Rolling Hills community to show them what a real community looks like. Date: Saturday, June 12th. Tract 7. Be there. She was throwing her grandstanding party on my land. Without asking. Without a hint of awareness. I could have shut it down right then. But that would have been a skirmish. I wanted a total, unconditional surrender. The week before the party, Brenda was a whirlwind of self-importance. She even stopped by my house. "Just making sure you're coming to the spring fling," she chirped. "It's going to be the event of the season. We're even putting up a beautiful temporary wrought iron gate at the entrance to Tract 7 to make it feel exclusive. A special touch, don't you think?" "A gate?" I asked, my voice neutral. "That's a great idea. Very exclusive." "Oh yes, we'll have a volunteer checking names at the entrance. It really classes things up." I just smiled. "I wouldn't miss it for the world, Brenda." The day of the party arrived. I took my position on my back deck, which had a perfect, elevated view of Tract 7. I had a cooler of drinks, a pair of binoculars, and the original property deed and surveyor's report sitting on the table beside me. At 2 p.m., the buses started arriving. 10 of them from the Rolling Hills community. They disgorged hundreds of people onto my property. The band started playing. The smell of Fancy Frank's barbecue filled the air. The bouncy castles wobbled with joyous children. It was a perfect, sunny, chaotic scene. And every single person there was trespassing. I waited until the party was in full swing. Until the beer was flowing. The band was on their third rendition of Sweet Home Alabama, and Brenda had just taken the microphone for her special surprise announcement. I walked down, deed in hand, to the beautiful temporary wrought iron gate. Brenda's volunteer, old Mr. Higgins, was nodding off in a folding chair. "Having fun, Mr. Higgins?" I asked. "Oh yes, quite the shindig. Mind if I take a look at that gate?" I asked. He waved a hand dismissively. I examined it. It was a simple latch. With a satisfying click, I pushed the bolt home. Then, I reached into my pocket and pulled out the heavy, old-fashioned padlock I'd bought for this exact moment. I slipped it through the latch and snapped it shut. I walked over to the small stage where Brenda was preening. I didn't say a word. I just walked up and gently unplugged the microphone from the amplifier. The music of the Suburban Dads screeched to a halt. Hundreds of faces turned to me. Brenda's face was a thundercloud. "What is the meaning of this? How dare you?" I plugged the microphone back in, my voice calm and clear. "Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm your neighbor. I hope you're all enjoying the Serenity Springs spring fling. I know I am." A nervous chuckle went through the crowd. "You see," I continued, "this is a very special piece of land. Brenda here calls it Tract 7. But I have here the original land survey and the property deed, recently confirmed by the county, that proves this land is not HOA property. It's part of my private property." The crowd went dead silent. Brenda looked like she'd been slapped. "Which means," I said, smiling warmly, "that this lovely party is, technically, a massive trespassing event. And while I'm a reasonable person, I do believe in charging a venue fee for the use of my land. Let's call it $100 per person. Cash, check, or Venmo are all fine." Pandemonium. The fallout was immediate and glorious. The Rolling Hills folks were furious, feeling duped. They turned on Brenda. My own neighbors, finally seeing the depth of her arrogance, were aghast. I didn't actually charge anyone, of course. I made a big show of magnanimously allowing everyone to leave once I'd unlocked the gate. But the damage was done. Brenda's authority was shattered. An emergency board meeting was called. I presented my evidence. Brenda was voted out as president in a landslide. The new board's first act was to formally apologize to me, and to void every single fine she had ever issued against me. The gargoyle code? Abolished. The mowing schedule? A suggestion, not a rule. As for my 2 acres, I officially posted private property, no trespassing signs. But I also built a small, public gazebo right at the edge of it, with a little plaque that reads, Fergus's Grove, a place for actual serenity. So, the next time your HOA gets on your case about your mailbox being the wrong shade of beige, just remember, sometimes the biggest weapon you have is patience, paperwork, and a perfectly timed padlock. Thanks for watching. Stay petty, stay documented, and know your property lines.
Outro music fades in.
End screen, subscribe button, links to other videos titled, I let my HOA dig their own grave, and neighbor blocked my driveway, so I called 10 tow trucks.